The fierce military dog was put in prison. Keep still with the mouth cover. All the soldiers are very afraid of it, but the old soldier tried to tame it, summon up courage and slowly approach the dog. The military dog stood up alert, could attack at any time. Jack comes slowly to the dog. Squat down and feel. No response to the dog. He breathed a sigh of relief. Turn around and tell your comrades in arms that it's not that terrible. But the next second, although the dog wears a muzzle, but Jack was still scared to death. He hurried to carry the dog to the car. The dog growled furiously, trying to tear Jack to pieces, but Jack never dared to provoke him again. He hurried to pack up, took the dog and left the camp. Dog barking tired on the way. Sit down quietly, but Jack didn't dare to relax. He called the officer for help, but the officer told him, this dog is a military dog with outstanding military achievements, but since the master died, its character becomes violent, aggressive, and Jack must send the dog to his master's funeral on time. But the bad thing is, Jack just hung up. The dog began to get angry again. He tried to talk to the dog to appease it, but the dog doesn't listen. It frantically scratched at the cage, scared Jack to stop. The car just stopped. The dog is much quieter. Jack risked being bitten to remove the muzzle from the dog, but when he wanted to take the dog out for a walk, but the dog became angry again, very resistant. Jack had to close the door, leave the dog alone in the car, but the dog took advantage of Jack's absence. After a while it took the cage apart. When Jack comes back, he was stunned by what he saw. The manic dog is frantically biting the seat, tear the holster to pieces. Jack is in a hurry, but he didn't dare open the door, or he'll be torn to pieces. Helpless, he could only think of a cruel move. He stuffed a tranquilizer into the sausage. After eating the ham, the dog collapsed in the carriage. Jack was very happy when he subdued the dog, so he drove comfortably to the town. They stopped for the night. Jack is afraid the dog is hungry, so he brought out dog food and put it in front of him. But the tranquilizer hasn't worked yet. The dog can't stand up. It can only eat on its stomach. Jack felt a little guilty. He grabbed a handful of dog food and put it to the dog's mouth, trying to coax it, but the dog no longer trusts Jack, refused to eat what he feeds. Jack asked for nothing, threw away the dog food and went back to the car to sleep. The next day Jack woke up in a daze. He forgot there was a fierce military dog in the car. It has been thirsty all night. When Jack was just about to drink mineral water, although Jack was angry, he still has to get the dog to his destination on time. On the way, Jack wants to improve his relationship with the dog, keep telling him stories and feeding him snacks. But the dog was ungrateful. Instead, it became angry again. It kept walking around like it found something, but Jack didn't notice anything about the dog. Suddenly the dog broke free of his collar, leaned out of the car and tried to jump. Jack was scared to death and slammed on the brakes. When the car stopped, the dog jumped out of the car, rushed into the jungle and disappeared.